Hey everybody, Andrew here from Pacific Coast Auto, taking a look at the results of last week's auction picks. Up first, the Mercedes-Benz 190e. This one did not see nearly enough action for the seller to let it go. It only got bid up to $9,750, nowhere near what it's worth. The Nissan Sunny California did sell, and that one went for just over Derek's bid, selling for $2,100. The Honda NSX sold for well over Derek's guess. Despite the fact that it was an R-grade and an automatic, it still sold for $23,750. The Smokey and the Bandit looking Pontiac Trans Am did not sell. That one was bid up to $21,400, but still wasn't enough to take it home. The Mazda RX-7 didn't sell, but it wasn't unsold. The auction says it was removed after being bid up to $5,900. Usually we think this means the seller got an offer on it and pulled it from auction, but whatever the case was, it didn't sell. Somebody picked up the Mitsubishi FTO for dirt cheap. Somebody picked that one up for just $1,080. The mileage is high, but it is a 3.5, so I think for $1,000 you can still have some fun with that car. The Honda CRX also sold, going for about half of Derek's guess. Somebody picked that one up for $3,650. The Nissan Silvia Lesade, or however they want to say it, did not sell. That was only bid up to $11,580. The Nissan March Tommy Kyra Edition did sell. Somebody picked that one up for $1,590. And finally, the Nissan Snow Leopard did not sell. It only got $600 in bids. Not surprising for an uninspected car, and the pictures probably weren't helping it either. That's going to do it for last week's picks. Now here's Derek with this week's.
Hey guys, guess what? It's Derek here. Thanks, Andrew, for showing us the prices of last week. I hope I wasn't that bad, but like always, I don't really watch those prices because I don't have time to be self-critiquing. Anyways, we got 7 cars this time, a few less than usual, but I kept it narrow because I'm going on a trip tomorrow, and the next day I'm going skiing. Oh, I just gave you guys a preview of all of the cars. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one here. And this was sent in from you guys in Facebook. If you like playing this game, anyone can. You can check out the auctions yourself. You can browse through it all you want. The only thing is you have to have a lot of time to do that on your hands because it's very addicting looking at all the cars that are up for auction in Japan. Okay, so starting off with this one here. This is a Subaru Vivio, a GXTT Top. So what we have here is a convertible K car, and so this top piece comes off, so it's not like a full convertible, but the Vivio usually is a 3-door hatchback that looks kind of like a Suzuki Swift, I guess you could say. And then the convertible version gets the notchback look, which is really cool because it's made by Subaru, it has the hood scoop, and the regular version of it has more sleek headlights than this. This is a dumb version. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not dumb. I think it's kind of cool, but I think the original one looks cooler than this to me because it looks like a mini Impreza. And especially if you put on a little mini box spoiler on here, then it looks like a little Impreza STI. Not a lot of people do that, but you can if you want. And look at this. It's even World Rally Blue, the color. And yeah, that is... Oh, it's been color changed. Okay, so that's not the original color, but I bet a lot of people like to paint these ones as World Rally Blue. I think that they came in the darker version of Subaru Impreza Blue, but not in the WR Blue like this. And so this one has the headlights and the tail lights and the back bumper. You can see this chrome bumper on it. This is a different version of the Vivio, but I don't think that this version of the face came on the convertible version of the car. I think it was just on the regular version, and then it was called something weird, but I can't recall it at the moment. Here's the interior, and yeah, quite a quirky little car. They are supercharged, I think. Might be turbocharged. One or the other. They are forced induction. Okay, so let's look over the auction sheet. This is a 1992. I think they started in... No, this is a 1994, and I think they started in 92 or 93-ish. 660cc. This is an auction rate RA, interior B and exterior B. 147, 730 kilometers, automatic transmission, though you can get these with... I know you can get the regular Vivio in a 5-speed for sure. I don't know if you can get the convertible one. You'd have to look that up. What does it say? Front and rear bistro. That's the name of it. Bistro face. They say this is a limited edition car with only 1,000 made, but I don't know if that's true. Supercharger. There we go. Volk Racing 15-inch wheels, Momo steering wheel, and extra gauges. Really? Extra gauges? I wonder where those might be. Cool Momo steering wheel that has the yellow Momo stitching in the top. It is a cool car. Okay, rear carrier. Let's put your bags on the back there. Ruin your rear view visibility. Panasonic Navi. And then the, let's read this. Interior dirty and scratched seat wear right front. So it has been in an accident. That's what the RA means. RA is generally a lower end accident. And so not something I usually worry about, but it depends on you. You might not like that kind of thing. So right front inner panel dented. Core support dented. Oil leak. Seat saggy. Left rear inner panel dented. End panel dented. Front windshield has a crack in it. Not good. And suspension has been modified. Wheel scratch, door mirror scratch, various scratches and dents. So the body's really good. The condition of the car is really good, except for the accident stuff. There are a lot of repairs done to it, but I don't think that they were very serious, because if you look at this, they didn't require the replacement of any of the panels on the body. And so it was probably a light accident where it hit in the in the front there. And then K cars are light and crunchy, and so it's probably didn't take much to damage those areas. That wouldn't worry me. The condition of it looks good. If this was importable to the US, I would absolutely jump on this for something you could sell to make some good profit. I do wonder about the 1,000 units made. I don't think that's going to affect the price, though, because nobody's like, oh man, I need that one version of the Subaru Vivio. Because a lot of people don't even know about this car. The special versions of cars that's going to increase the price are usually ones people have heard of. And the actual Vivio, the regular version of it with the supercharger, is a nice hot hatch. I guess hot K hatch. This one, I suppose it would be heavier, but it is cool that it's the convertible. I think this rear glass drops down too, but it keeps the picnic basket loop here. Okay, so price on this one, this unique vehicle, I'm going to guess on this one 230,000 yen. Oh, and that was sent in by Ioanni Esparza and Mitchell Dickens, pardon me. Okay, on to the next one from Bill Courtney. Sent in a crazy Jeep. So this is a Mitsubishi Jeep, but it's not like your typical Mitsubishi Jeep because it has lots of doors, lots of seat rip, and back seat with an inner tube in the back. Why the heck would you want an inner tube? That would be really wild if these wheels actually were tubed tires. I don't think that they are. I don't even know if you would be allowed to drive a car with tube tires on it anymore. Okay, so it has the traditional Jeep looks to it. These are something I don't know too much about. I picked the cars today without even thinking about how much I can talk about them. But it's cool, it's unique. Mitsubishi Jeep alone is something really rare outside, or in the US at least. It's 1979, is that right? Let me just check. Correct. Okay, so 1979, unknown mileage, but the odometer reads 54,289, auction grade R. These Mitsubishi Jeeps, rust is going to be a huge problem on them because rust is a problem on Mitsubishis in general, and this is super old. It's older than I am, actually. See, C2, C-hole, cracked, C2, C-hole, C2, C1, C2. So it's made out of cheese that has been eaten by a mouse. Sort of. It's actually made out of metal that's been eaten by Mother Nature, but you know what I mean. 5-digit odometer, so that's why the mileage is unknown. Has fender mirrors, because fender mirrors are really cool to look at, but they're a little bit annoying to use. I suppose you would get used to it, but I really don't like it when I drive a car with fender mirrors. Oil leak, full repaint, some repair marks, corrosion holes in the floor, and on and on. So I'm assuming that these are super duper rare in this body style, and so that's going to give it some value no matter how bad the corrosion is. Somebody could buy this and then restore it, and it would probably be worth it. Could probably sell that for somewhere around $20,000 now if it was restored. That doesn't give you a lot of room to get this and restore it and make a profit, though. And so it would be more willing, I think like a collector's more willing to invest in something like this if they're not expecting to get their money back. Starting price 20,000 yen. I think we'll see it go for like 180,000 yen or so. I couldn't really see it going for much more than that. But we could have a seller that's going to wait and wait and wait for the somebody to overpay for it just so that they can get their money. Because with a car as rare as this, sometimes it just takes the right person to overpay for it. Just like my Nissan Caravan that's kind of rusty. If I were to sell it, I would do the same thing. I would wait, 2 months worth of auctions and then just set a reserve price as high as I would want it, just to see if somebody's going to buy it. Okay, on to the next one from Raymond Yu. Sent in this. This is a Lancer Evo 3. And the Evos came out with a new one every year. And this was the first one with the big spoiler at the back and the big front bumper intakes. So it's cool. It looks really good in these wheels. I think those are the original wheels too, actually. Cool little vent for the turbo here. Instead of a scoop, it's a vent. And then there are 2 other vents that you can't see because the auction picture is blown out. These taillights were on the Evo 1, 2, and 3. And then it gets really deep side skirts. And then a deep front lip as well. Evo 3s are cool. They're the last one before the AYC system. And so in that respect, they work better as rally cars than the Evo 4, 5, 6. Unless you get the RS version. So the RS version was the one that they officially used in rally. And it has the solid, like the standard differentials. And then the AYC one is a torque vectoring system that doesn't actually work as nicely when you're going rallying because it sends different torque to different wheels and it's a little bit less predictable and more susceptible to damage than a standard one. And so this is the last one that had the good differentials. Okay, 82,374 kilometers on here. Front original Recaro seats, original Oz aluminum wheels, original Momo steering wheel. Oz wheels. Anyone who has Oz wheels on their car gets 3 more points towards their next level up. And I'm not only saying that because I have Oz wheels on my car. Actually, I don't have them on my car. It's the company's car that has them. Those are nice. Nice and small. See, back then, nice small wheels actually existed. Okay, so exterior has some paint fade, underside corrosion, because it's a Mitsubishi Lancer, they all do. Various surface rust and corrosion on it. Oil leak, seat saggy, steering wheel peeling, and headliner is dirty. Body doesn't look too bad, and Evo 3s are more expensive than an Evo 4, and probably about the same price as an Evo 5 or 6, and sometimes more expensive if it's a really good one with low mileage. This one has the corrosion on it, but the low mileage is going to keep that price up. And so I'm going to guess on this one, 800,000 yen. Okay, on to the next one, sent in by Ravi Deo. First time sending one in, so thank you, Ravi. Speaking about our company car, this is what our company car is, basically the same color and everything. We have different wheels, we have Oz wheels, okay, so ours has the 3 extra experience points. But yeah, if people want to know what we drive for our company car, it's one of these, and I love these. I love the Toyota Beebe design. I thought that was really cool when it came out, but the fact that you can get the pickup truck version of it is way cooler than the regular Beebe with these roof racks. It's not a super useful vehicle, it's more of a style thing, but it gets good fuel economy, it's super reliable, and it's quirky and fun to look at. And then the tailgate comes down on any of them that's not ours. Our tailgate worked for about 8 months and then it stopped opening. The latch on here is broken somehow and so it doesn't open. But we put 60 liters of fuel in the back, and then there's random junk in the bottom that has been in there for several months. I'm ashamed to show you, and I won't show you, but it's basically just like there's like a funnel and some old oil bottles and some other stuff in there. Our interior is a lot dirtier than this too, and this one has a second glove box that ours doesn't have. Ours has a tray here, so that's kind of neat. I didn't know that they had options like this because a car like this, like the unique ones, this is kind of like an auto show special, and they did this every once in a while in Japan. They'd come out with a car for the auto show, and then people liked it so much that they decided to make it. And usually cars like that don't have very many options because they're not cars that sell in high numbers and they don't make good profit. And so you need to be making a good profit in order to have options on there. So it's neat to me that that happened. The aftermarket CD unit looks way cooler than our Navi unit that we have. The original Navi is the one in our car. Has center-mounted speedometer and a tiny little tachometer. It's a weak little engine. It's the same as in the Vitz or the Yaris or the Echo. 1.5 liter, variable valve timing, 108 horsepower, front-wheel drive. You can't get them in four-wheel drive for the open deck. And the open deck has a rear door that opens suicide style. So the regular BB has 4 doors and they all open standard style. This one's really cool that it has the suicide door. And they come with different seats inside. I prefer the regular BB seats because they're a bench. These are buckets, but the buckets are relatively comfortable. Seating position is good. Visibility is very good. And so it's a good car. I would recommend them. 256, 737 kilometers is ultra high, but it's a Toyota, so it should be okay. It looks like the body on this one's worse than ours is. A4 scratch here, B2 here, A4 there, rust up here, paint peeling on the back too. Ours isn't the best, but it looks better than this. And what do we got here? The bed section has scratches and dents. Exterior paint fade. Headliner has been discolored. Headlights are cloudy, seat saggy, steering wheel and shift knob peeling. What do we got for open deck? What do we got for starting price? 0 yen starting price. Okay, because of the high mileage, because of the weak body, it's going to sell for really cheap. I think that we'll see this one go for 80,000 yen. And that's more than the regular BB is by maybe 20 to 30% for the open deck. Okay, so on to the next one. Ravi, I'm so glad that you sent that one in. That makes me smile. Elijah McDonald sent the next guy in. It looks like a color change Suzuki Jimny, which is also the Samurai, but in Japan they're called the Jimny. It's a 660cc turbo engine, 5-speed manual, very nice. And these are pretty much the only car that people seriously off-road in Japan for people who do it as like a hobby, because they're really cheap to own. Because they're a K car, you don't need a parking spot for them. And they're extremely capable, and they're one of the very last cars that comes with the solid axles for, like, even Land Cruisers changed away from the solid axles. And so they're easy to lift up, aftermarket support is huge, and it's just so much more expensive to go with anything other than a Jimny if you're going to go off-roading for fun. And so, highly recommended car. It's not a great car to live with on a day-to-day basis. It's thrashy in the short wheelbase and uncomfortable, but super fun, and for a lot of people that's enough of a, like, the compromise is worth it. Just to, you know, the image is really cool. Yeah. 121, 100 kilometers. This is a 2003 December, almost importable to Canada, but these have been legal for Canada for a couple of years now, this style. 4-wheel drive turbo car, aftermarket air filter, dual airbags, 5-speed manual, rear mount spare tire, aftermarket suspension. Looks like it's lifted up a little bit. They're really capable even with this tiny little lift and these tiny little tires. A lot of people want the widest tires that they can get, but if you're 4x4ing, wide tires don't give you that much more grip. I mean, it depends on which type of 4x4ing that you're doing, but a skinny tire can be a lot more capable than people think. Okay, dashboard has a monitor attached to it. Steering wheel has a cover on it. Headliner is dirty. Aftermarket exhaust and aftermarket shift knob. Scratches on the wheels, door mirrors, various scratches and dents. Body looks pretty good except for one gash here, but like I've mentioned a number of times, a 4x4 vehicle with body damage kind of suits it. Yes. Okay, so price on this one, they hold their value pretty well, particularly because they're a K vehicle, and so cost of ownership is less, so that brings the price up. If you get the non-K version with the 1300cc engine, they typically cost less than the K version with the 660cc engine here in Japan. Nice wheels. Hard? Something hard. 300,000 yen. That's my phone that's ringing. Where did I put it? Okay, well, I'm going to go on to the next one. Suzuki Jimny is done. Next one, Cody Sakamoto sent in this one. Actually, somebody else did too. I think Bill Courtney, maybe. This is the second Honda that I ever drove. No, this was the first Honda I ever drove. This is the first generation Honda Prelude. And finding one of these in Japan is super duper weird, because the Prelude wasn't a car that was popular in Japan. For a two-door coupe style notchback like this, Toyota and Nissan had the market covered. Their cars just killed in Japan at that time, and Honda didn't. Partly because the vehicle was more suitable for the US market, the size of the vehicle, and I think the engine size of it, just like, I don't know. And the front wheel driveness may be part of it. You know, rear wheel drive sedans will have better handling dynamics. But I have to say, these feel great to drive. I've liked every generation of the Prelude that I have driven. And this, I think it comes with side draft carbs, like dual side draft carb and 1.84 cylinder. And probably a little bit finicky to maintain something like this. Aftermarket carbs could make that easier. Love the styling on these. These were everywhere when I was in high school, and they weren't anything special back then. But nowadays, if you see one on the road, that would be special in America or Canada. But here in Japan, way more special, I think. And so because of that, I think the value of this one in Japan is going to be worth more than in other countries outside of Japan. So I would expect people would be surprised at how much this ends up selling for. The fender mirrors are really cool. Sunroof on there is really nice. The interior brown, I love that. It's a shame it's not a 5-speed, but the one I drove was an automatic and felt good for an automatic. 94,391 kilometers, one owner, and it's a 1980. Crazy. Body looks to be fair, especially for the age. Dashboard comes up, engine makes a weird sound. Maybe it's time for a B16 swap. Exterior 1 part paint fade and cracked, underside scratched and dented. Odometer is 5 digits, so it may have rolled over. I don't know if rolling is a word. It may have rolled over. End panel 1 part replaced. Rear side pocket is deformed. Rear floor dented or deformed. Core support, same thing. So it's been in an accident. These dent or deform means it's been in an accident and has been repaired, so it doesn't bother me that much for this one. If it's a big accident, it is, but this one doesn't look like a huge accident. Big scratches on the front here. That's the biggest problem of the back. Maybe the U2 on the trunk. Somebody slamming down their drinks on the trunk, like they do at the bar after they take a shot. Slam! It's cool. I think it's really cool. I think it's going to sell for 500,000 yen. We'll see. I'm curious to know exactly how much that one will sell for. It's hard to pick. And the last one, Raymond Liang. Hope I got that right this time. Let me know in the comments. Sent in an S660. S660 is the new Honda Beat. And so we have a video of us driving this on our other channel, which hasn't been updated in forever. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with that, but it is a cool video. You get to see what it's like to drive one of these, and it's incredibly, it's weird to drive this because it's a really modern car, but it's a sports K car, and yet it looks awesome, and it's unlike anything else when you drive it. It's a turbocharged 660cc. The original one was naturally aspirated 660 that put out 64 horsepower, but this feels way faster than the original one, even though it's got more weight in it. This one's called an Alpha Edition. I don't know if that's special or not. 17,205 kilometers, grade 5, interior B. This is all boring stuff except for the 16-inch work wheels. I'm not a huge fan of these wheels. I used to really like them, but I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with I bought a car and went to sell it back to auction, but before selling it I changed the wheels to a set of Work Emotion wheels, and I thought that would increase the price, and it didn't. So that might be why. One owner car, and then no problems except for a windshield rocket chip, and an interior is dirty, and one tiny scratch on the back. And so I think that these sell for 1.5 to 2 million when they're brand new cars, depending on the trim. So I'm going to guess 1.4 on this one. I'm going to guess that the Alpha is a higher level of trim, plus the wheels on there, and it's really clean for the mileage, so maybe 1.4. So we'll see. Okay, so that's going to be it for this one. We only got 7 cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars this time, and so hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you again next week.